So with the Halloween season coming right around the corner, like we're literally about a month or two away from it, and I'm excited to talk more spooky things with y'all. And I have a series coming out where I'm gonna go through the decades of horror. I'm gonna start with the 70s just because I saw the Texas Chainsaw Massacre not too long ago back on the big screen, and also because The Exorcist is my favorite horror film of all time. But that is going to go over some of the films from the 70s as well as deeper dives into each one of them. I was saying I wanted to do more retro type of videos where I talk about older films as well, and that's going to be a great way to like segue into that, right? So stay tuned for those videos. But today we're going to start by having a poll on posts where you get to vote for your favorite horror film from the 70s, and we'll see which one y'all choose as the best one, and I'll also choose one myself. But today we're here to talk about 2025. We'll talk about the 70s later. We're here to talk about 2025 today. Let's get into this list of my most anticipated horror, sci-fi, thriller, genre film, whatever you want to call it. I know some people are going to be in the comments be like, well, that movie you talked about, I don't think that's horror. Well, it counts in the same kind of like vicinity, right? I don't know. But let's get into it. Hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell. On the road to 50,000 subscribers. Here are my most anticipated films for 2025 have yet to come in the horror sphere. I have another list for other movies as well, but I wanted to dedicate one to horror. So let's get into it with The Conjuring Last Rites, which is coming out next week. The Conjuring Last Rites is going to wrap up the Conjuring franchise, so they say. I think it's more wrapping up the Warrens with Vera and Patrick. I think that story is going to be concluded, but I could definitely see them going into spin-offs later down the road, especially if this movie makes a bank at the theater. As we know, The Devil Made Me Do It wasn't really a movie that went to theaters because of everything that was happening at the time. And I will tell you, I'm a little disappointed that James Wan isn't coming back to direct the final installment to the series that he started over a decade ago. When I first saw the Conjuring trailer in 2013, 2012, I was just so amazed and intrigued by it. And I loved the film. I love what he did with The Conjuring 2. Annabelle's Annabelle, but Annabelle Creation was great as well. I thought Annabelle Comes Home really got the formula right for having a good time. And then, of course, we came with other films like The Nun, then also La Llorona, and I was just like, well, I don't know what we're doing anymore. And I haven't been that sort of locked into the rest of the Conjuring films. I really wasn't a fan of The Devil Made Me Do It a couple of years ago, so I'm a little worried about Last Rites. The trailer looks good. I know some people talk about the CGI, and I agree with you. Some of it looks like I'm walking down the corridors of Spirit Halloween. That's a whole other conversation though about how I think a lot of things nowadays just look like whatever. But I am still excited for this movie. I will be watching it and very, very excited to bring you my thoughts. So a little scared, but we'll make it. We'll make it. Let me know what you think about The Conjuring Last Rites. The next film on my list is going to be The Long Walk. This is a movie that I have no clue what it's about. I know it's based on the Stephen King novel. I've never read the novel. I do love that we have in this movie Cooper Hoffman, who I think is a great actor, and as well as David Johnson, one of my favorite actors that has recently broken through. I saw him in Rye Lane a couple of years ago at Sundance, and I thought this guy's gonna make it. And now we see him in Alien Romulus, and also will be in The Long Walk, as well as a movie at TIFF I'll be talking about on my TIFF preview coming in later this week. But this movie is based on a sort of dystopian future in which the totalitarian government has decided to hold an annual event where 100 young men have to walk, and they can't go any faster or any slower than what the speed is, which I believe is 3 miles per hour. And if they do, they get killed, and the winner is the last man standing. So this movie looks great. It's gotten some pretty recent good reviews, and it is directed by the director of The Hunger Games. So I think it's all the makings of a great film. But what really got me sold on this movie is JT Mulner wrote the script, and Strange Darling is one of my favorite films of the last 5 years. So I'm excited for this one. I definitely want to check it out. I was supposed to go to an early screening for this. Can't make it out to it, but I'll be watching it on day one. Next on my list is going to be the film Him. September really is coming in with some pretty heavy hitters, I feel. Stars Tyreek Withers, and I think Tyreek Withers is such an interesting actor. Really loved him in Atlanta, as well as in I Know What You Did Last Summer. Marlon Wayans opposite to Tyreek Withers. The trailer looks great. It looks like they're really going for that artistic flair. So I definitely am excited for this movie. It basically revolves around a quarterback who is trying to make it to the big times, become a legend. He wants to be him, and he is going to go under the mentorship of Marlon Wayans, who is a semi-retired, I believe, ball player who is going to take him under his wing. But it looks like it's going to be a descent into hell, however. So we'll see what happens. Really think this is such an important film, especially with the toxicity we see today with grind and hustle culture. So we'll see how this movie shapes up to be. Hopefully it's great. Next one is probably one of my most anticipated films beyond the horror sphere, and that is going to be Alpha, directed by Julia Ducournau, who is one of my favorite directors. She is behind Titan as well as Raw. This film basically revolves around a 13-year-old and her mother, whose whole life totally like gets destroyed when she comes home with a tattoo. I don't know anything much of this film. I've heard some very divisive things from it at Cannes, but I still am very excited for it nonetheless because I think Julia is such an amazing director and visionary, so we'll see what happens. This movie I already saw, but I really do recommend it. It is an erotic thriller called Bone Lake. I saw it last year at Fantastic Fest. This movie is bonkers. It is insane. It is going to leave you gasping. If you're a fan of like reality soap opera type vibes, this one's definitely it. It is more on the thrill aspect than the horror aspect, but I still think it leaves a lot of moments that are shocking. It gets pretty bloody, and of course I said it's an erotic thriller, so take with that what you will, but definitely one of those movies I think people are going to be talking about a lot. We also have that Weekend Good Boy coming out, which is a film in the perspective of a dog in a haunted house. Heard so many great things about this movie. I tried to catch it twice at South by Southwest and also at Overlook Film Festival. No chance, but I'm excited to finally catch it in theaters. I don't know much else about this movie, and I don't need to. You also have Shelby Oaks, which is the latest and the first feature debut of Chris Stuckman, who is a person I've been watching for well over a decade. Huge inspiration for this channel, and I'm excited to finally see their debut feature. Basically revolves around a sister who is still trying to look for their sister that went missing, who is a paranormal investigator on YouTube, and things start to unravel pretty quickly. This premiered at Fantasia Fest last year. Apparently they've done some reshoots and it will be premiering at Fantastic Fest this year. So we'll see what happens with this movie. I'm excited. Down for VHS, and VHS this year comes with the theme of Halloween, and I'm going to be watching this one. It sounds great, but the biggest thing is that Paco, the director of Rec, my favorite found footage horror film, is doing a short on this one, so I'm seated. The new Brian Bertino film, the director behind The Strangers as well as The Dark and the Wicked, two incredible films for me. I have a new film from Brian Bertino, which is Vicious, which stars Dakota Fanning, and I don't know much of this film, but I'm gonna watch it. It's Bertino. Black Phone 2 comes out in October as well, also premiering at Fantastic Fest, as well as Vicious, by the way. I forgot to mention that. The Black Phone 2 is pretty much what happens if you take the grabber and pretty much make him into like Freddy Krueger. I'm seated. I don't need to know anything else about this movie. The trailer looks incredible. That snow, I love a movie that's set in the winter, so I'm excited for this movie. October also brings us Frankenstein, which will have a limited release. I am telling you, check this movie out as soon as you hear it's playing in the theater near you. That is how it's intended to be seen, and I implore you to do so. Netflix is not really great at releasing a movie on the big screen, so maybe a week or two on there. So when you get the chance, watch it. It is, I think, a movie that's going to be incredible. It's going to be premiering at TIFF. I'm not sure if I'll be able to catch it because it is one of the most like sought out titles, if not the most sought out title, but I'll definitely be watching it in theater as soon as I can. So my next film is going to be Begonia, which is directed by Yorgos Lanthimos, with Emma Stone reuniting as well with Yorgos after Poor Things. This one also has Jesse Plemons. It is based on the South Korean film Save the Green Planet, which is a movie I implore you to check out first before Begonia. But this is more of a reimagining. I saw the trailer. It looks a little bit different. So very excited for it. I won't give you any more details on it. I feel like it's a movie you go in not knowing much, and you're going to be definitely surprised. Hollow Road is one of the films that was the hardest to watch at South by Southwest. Every time I tried to go watch it, line wrapped around the building. This is a film starring Rosamund Pike as well as Matthew Rice, and I don't know much more of it. I just know it's about these people that go to try and help their child after they're in danger, and things get weird, and that's all I know. But I'm excited for this one that's finally releasing this year. Predator Badlands is a new film from Dan Trachtenberg, who gave us Prey, and you know, I've watched the trailer a dozen times. I've made videos on it if you want to go check them out. Elle Fanning stars here as a Weyland-Yutani synthetic. I'm here for it. I'm excited. Predators, maybe Alien shows up. Secret AVP movie. We made that video. Go check it out what I think about that. But this looks great. I'm excited for it. Love Prey. Keeper is the new Osgood Perkins film starring Tatiana Maslany. Saw the trailer for this. I am floored. I'm excited. I don't need to know anything else about this movie. I'm going to watch it this November. The Running Man starring Glenn Powell as well as Coleman Domingo, directed by Edgar Wright. This is based on a Stephen King novel, and Stephen King novels always get adapted every year. There is no running from that. Also, by the way, we have It, Welcome to Derry coming out. That's a TV show, but still a horror show that I'm excited to watch this fall. So very excited for that. But The Running Man basically revolves around the idea and concept of let's hold a game show where we take somebody to try to outrun assassins as we videotape it, and everybody gets to cheer and glorify this violence. And if you win and survive, you get a ton of money. That's basically The Running Man. I'm excited for this. Five Nights at Freddy 2. I don't know what to tell you about this. If you're a fan of FNAF, you're a fan of this. If you're not that fan of FNAF, you're probably not going to be a fan of this. That's as easy as it gets with FNAF. And this movie, I didn't even know was coming out this year. I don't know, for some reason I thought it was coming out till next year, but Anaconda with Jack Black and Paul Rudd. I'm seated. I've been a fan of Anaconda with Ice Cube and J-Lo for a long time, so I'm going to watch this movie. I'm excited. But those are the movies I'm excited for in the horror, sci-fi, thriller sphere. There's some that maybe I missed. Let me know in the comments down below, and maybe I'll talk about them in another video. But stay tuned for my 70s video on the horror movies that truly shaped the 70s for me. Not saying that I'm from the 70s, but I'm just saying like 70s horror in general. And I will make a video for each one of them as well. I don't know if I should release all of them at once. We'll see what happens. I got an idea for it, so stay tuned. But as always, that's going to do it for me. Let me know which movie you are most excited for in the fall for spooky season. Maybe it's not a movie that comes out this year. Maybe it's another movie that you like to watch from the past. What movie gets you in the mood for spooky season? Comment it down below. But as always, that's going to do it for me. We're on the road to 50,000 subscribers. Let's get to it. Hit the subscribe, like button, all that good stuff. Make sure you follow us on our website, www.culturelixir.com, and also on our Instagram and our TikTok, all provided right here. As always, I'll see you all next time. Stay safe, stay positive.